I have no clue what my intro should be.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Sis got blah boy, sis got blah boy. Ooh. Sis got blah boy, sis got blah boy. Ooh. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Kyle. Today's topic, I wanted to talk about how I knew I was transgender. The first thing I want to discuss is for the people who are not familiar with the trans community. I always get this question, I don't know about anybody else, but a lot of people think that trans people are only trans because they like girls, so they think they have to transition to be a man. But they don't understand that being transgender, or I can speak for a trans man, being a trans man, it does not have to do with who you like sexually. We don't transition because we like a certain sex, so we feel like we have to change our body to match the social norm of a man being with a woman. You can be lesbian and not transition, and you can be a trans man and still like men. So sexuality and your gender identity are two different things. I just want to set the record straight. All right, so I knew I was trans from a very young age. I know everybody is different. Some people could find out when they're 40, some people could find out when they're 70, and some people could find out really young, like I did. I knew I was trans ever since like first grade. I just knew it right off the bat. I just didn't know, obviously, I didn't know what the word was. So, in like first grade, I just knew something was different. And I know as a child, parents can get mixed up with their daughter just being a tomboy. But I knew I wasn't just a tomboy because my fascination with guys, and not in a way of like me liking them, my fascination just with who they were and the way they could present themselves, it's what I wanted. Like most kids grow up having a favorite superhero or a favorite princess. No, my fascination was just with being a guy. Like my birthday wishes from a very young age would just be to wake up a boy and not have to be a girl, not have to wear girl clothes, not have to wear girl bathing suits and all that stuff. Um, Once middle school and high school came, I did what I thought I had to do, which was basically shut all of that down and do the complete opposite. So rather than just like accept who I was and who I knew I wanted to be, I tried to be very feminine. I hung out with very feminine females who at the time, and some of them still are, my best friends. Um, I went to prom my junior year and I wore a dress, and it wasn't just any dress, like it was hot pink. It was had open sides, it had like bedazzled stuff and like little diamonds on it. Like it was the whole 9 yards. And in reality, I obviously wanted to wear like a tuxedo, and now I regret that so much. I really wish I did. And my girlfriend at the time, I didn't bring her. I brought a guy, but it was like one of my close guy friends, so like we knew it wasn't weird or anything. But like I didn't bring my girlfriend because I was scared of that. And at the time, to be honest, like I graduated high school like 4 or 5 years ago. So when I was in high school, like it was still kind of frowned upon to bring the same sex to prom, whereas now it's very accepting. Like it's a lot better than it was before. But so yeah, like my prom experience was the complete opposite of what I actually wanted to experience. Um, it wasn't until like senior year I had a transgender friend. They weren't transitioned, but they identified as trans and they dressed male, etc. And that's how I figured out what the term transgender meant, and I knew that's exactly how I felt. So I started to YouTube stuff. I just started to YouTube like what trans meant, and then that's when I found all these videos of people actually transitioning and sharing their experience like I'm doing right now on YouTube. And then I started to have YouTube I started subscribing to YouTubers who like I found very fascinating and who like motivated me to want to actually start this journey that I'd never heard of prior. So then, like, I didn't think I would ever, like when I say I don't think I would ever get to where I am right now, I never would have thought this would would be a thing. One, because I'm terrified of needles. Two, because I was terrified of the thought of surgery. I never ever wanted surgery unless I was on my deathbed and that was the only way to revive me. So I never thought I would have surgery. Just everything that I have done, I never thought I would do. And I'm definitely going to give the credit to my close friends and the people I met on Instagram. Literally, Instagram was nothing to me before. Like, I never cared to use it because Instagram is based on pictures. Usually, it could be of anything, but like nowadays, it's pictures of you. And I never liked to take pictures of myself because I was never confident about myself, and I never wanted to see myself in pictures. Which is why if you scroll down to like the oldest posts on my Instagram, you don't really see any old pictures of me pre-transition. So once I got on the Instagram, I started realizing that there was a lot of other trans people on Instagram sharing their story, sharing their transition, etc. And I knew when I transitioned, I wanted to start documenting my own personal experience and my voice updates, my like physical feature updates, all that stuff. And that's kind of how I started with Instagram. And everything that I was posting on there, like the updates and stuff, was just for me. Like, I just wanted something so that I could look back and see how far I've come, which now it's crazy looking back at those old pictures and like seeing how far I really did come. So yeah, once I started like meeting other transgender individuals, I cannot talk. Once I started meeting other transgender individuals on Instagram, we started talking a lot, and like they were helping me and guiding me through the process, and they were also in the beginning stages, so it was cool to like work side by side with someone who was doing the same exact thing. Then I started to team up with some of them, and we started making like Instagrams that we worked with together. So like we had like little groups, and that's how I met a lot of Instagram people that I'm very close with now and still talk to today. Basically, once all that happened, now I literally have hundreds of transgender friends just from Instagram alone, and I would love to meet a lot more in person. But where I live, there's really not many. I have like one or two that I talk to. But that's really how I knew I was transgender. Again, I knew since I was like 5 or 6. And no, it's not because I like females. It has nothing to do with me liking females. I would never put myself mentally or physically through this just because I thought I needed to fit in, because I like females. Like, there's nothing wrong with a woman and a woman being together, so I would never physically transition myself to look different just to fit societal norms as being a man and a woman dating each other. To me, that's crazy. Anyone could argue me that, but I just think that's ridiculous. And that's what I hear from a lot of people. They'll question and say, are you only doing this because you like women? Do you feel that you have to do this because you like girls? And no, that is not the reason why. And I don't want anyone to think that. So just wanted to make that clear. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys liked it. DM me questions for more upcoming videos, and I will get back to you with those.